Cutterup Rob here. Gonna do a little chat about some Cummins cylinder heads. So I am missing the intermediate, well, technically I guess 2 cylinder heads. But so I'll show you just where it's sitting. It's kind of a pain to get it out at the moment, to put it on the bench, being it's not stripped and there's a truck in the way. But so array of cylinder heads here sitting on the table. 12 valve head. Now 2 different, this is a brand new one that we got in just before Christmas. I got another shipment of them in that we got to go through, but 12 valve head. Now there's 2 different 12 valve heads. One was the 9 mil in Dodge truck world, basically the non-intercooled truck. So the only difference was it had, this is a 7 mil hole on this one, and they had a 9 mil hole. Other than that, they're the same. So 12 valve head, this is, use your imagination. There's another cylinder head here, another 24 valve. Very little difference in those, other than there is the VP44. I've seen it both ways, but there is a lot of them that are integral seat, but I have seen them with non-integral seats. So I don't know if there's a crossover here. There again, the VP44 in our area, or for me anyway, was never a super common thing for me to work on. So not done a lot with those. Even rebuilding them, I've only ever rebuilt maybe a handful of them, because most guys, they're not expensive engines, so they just buy a used engine for the truck if it needs one. Or, you know, it gets a different engine, they put a 12 valve in, whatever. So common rail 5.9, all the common rails are the same. Now the common rail 5.9s, the early so the 03 and 04 did have issues with valve seats falling out. So if you have an 03, 04 truck, I would recommend to have the valve seats replaced. If you're having the head rebuilt, myself personally, like we do 03, 04s, or 325 horse stuff, we replace all of the seats. And then the later ones, lots of times we end up replacing the seats, but that's more because of recession issues more than seats, unless the seat happens to spin or something. But, and then to the next one there again, this is a brand new head. It's actually not rust, it's actually packing oil. This is a 6.7 cylinder head. So obviously the 12 valve one is pretty easy to tell the difference. It only has 12 valves, pretty simple. Now the common rail 5.9, so if you're going to VP44, the only difference in the VP44, which I showed in another video, as far as sizing goes, I guess you would say. No, actually I shouldn't say that. There is another difference. So flip this up. So if you're talking VP44, if this was a VP44 head, there would be a notch in the intake right here. That's the easiest way to tell if it is. And then something else to note is the depth. The depth on your connector tube, common rail to VP44, is a different length. So to swap a common rail head onto a VP44 is not as easy as just bolting the head on. You can do it, but there's more to it than that. So just to be forewarned. So that, not really a lot to go in. They do somehow, like I said, a lot of them have integral seats, not all of them, because I have seen them without integral seats, and I don't know if that's heads been replaced or what the deal is, but I have seen quite a few with non-integral seats, and then some with integral seats. And so for you guys that don't know, an integral seat, a 12 valve has an integral seat. Oh, fingers out of the way. This is an integral seat. The seat itself is casted into the cylinder head, so, and then it's flame hardened. Now a seated head is just that. It's actually a pressed in hardened piece of material, and there's all kinds of different materials that they're made out of. But so now if you're going into the common rail 5.9, like we were talking earlier, all the 5.9 common rail heads are the same dimensionally. And then if you go over to the 6.7, the 6.7, there is some differences. Very little difference, actually. But there is some differences. So there's steam holes in them. And there's a couple of the coolant ports are shaped differently. Like if you look right here, you can see where I marked it here with the marker. You'd like to see that's kind of like a rounded rounded triangle type shape. And then this one is like this. So that's the difference. So 6.7 head, 5.9 head. Now there again, there is differences for injectors. So if you can take injectors from a 5.9 head and put them in a 6.7, but you cannot take a 6.7 injector and put it in a 5.9. I do actually have another video. If you check in the injection playlist, there's a video there for talking about that. But that is basically the only differences. So that's why, you know, if guys are talking, if you want to build a 6.7 or a 6.4 or a 6.1 or 6.2, whatever you want to call it, you can use a complete 6.7. You can use a head, a block, a crankshaft. As long as you're selecting either the right pistons or the right injector nozzles, you can run that in a 5.9 truck. The truck does not know the difference. It's a mechanical difference. So truck does not know a difference, and you get more displacement. So pretty easy actually to do. And I've done the swap, 6.7 swap on a handful of trucks, a couple of my own. And really, other than that, there isn't a lot of difference. Like I said, the biggest difference in them is the steam holes. That's the easiest. Like if you're looking at it, two heads sitting on a shelf, you know, if somebody says, "Oh, this is a 6.7 head," if it doesn't have these steam holes, it is not a 6.7 head. It'll be a 5.9. So you can see where I've drawn them on here. But that's the easiest way to tell. Like half a second glance, you can tell if that's a 6.7 head or a 5.9 head. Now talking a little bit about flow numbers, the stock 12 valve head, CFM wise, you in stock form, you're between 150 and 160 CFM. Now that is something that I've actually been looking for a flow bench because I want to get into doing some of that type of stuff. And then especially that'll work good with the dyno that I'm going to buy. Probably it'll be hopefully in the next less than the next 2 years. Hopefully it'll be before that. So anyways, so stock 12 valve head. Stock 12 valve head between 150 and 160 CFM, depending on where it was casted, when it was made, blah, blah, blah. So now all of the common, or all of the 6.7 heads are very close. They do range a little bit, but you're going to range, whether it's a VP44, 12 valve common rail, or a 6.7 head, you're going to range from about 170 to 185. And it's casting numbers that make a difference, and I honestly don't know all the difference in the casting numbers, but there is some heads that are a little bit different. Now on the 6.7, actually that's something else that I should mention. There is some of the emissions equipped, well, I shouldn't say that, all the 6.7s are emissions equipped. Emissions equipped trucks, some of them had a pocket cut between the exhaust valves. So it's like cut here, basically, in the cylinder head. Now, I've seen them, a lot of guys say that they're cabin chassis only, but I have seen them on pickup trucks too, so I'm not exactly sure if it's more of a year thing, because I've seen them on like 13 plus trucks, or a radius arm truck, I call them. So that is something to mention, that there is, I don't think that I actually have one here at the moment, but it's just like a pocket cut in here, like right there. And it's like, I don't know, 40, 50 thou deep. And I think it's an emissions thing is what it's for, I believe anyway. Actually, if you know in the comments, hit me down below if you do know why that is there. I believe it's for emissions compliance. Or it could be a flow thing too, so that it helps cross flow from exhaust. There again, I'm not a huge common rail guy. We build lots of common rails, but most of them are all stock form stuff. You don't get into a lot of high performance for that type of stuff. Lots of guys around here, for some reason, don't get a lot into it. Or maybe we just don't do them. I'm known for 12 valves, so I guess that's why I do lots of 12 valves. But anyways, So I think that's all I got to say about that as far as that goes. If there's any other questions, hit me down below. I'll do my best to get them done for you. All right, thanks guys. Oh, please like, subscribe, share, all that type of stuff. Channel's growing quite nicely. Like to see it grow bigger, the community get bigger. I appreciate you guys that are commenting and liking the videos and watching the videos. I do appreciate it. Just kind of gives me some motivation to do more. Just, you know, guys are watching, right? Anyways, catch you on the next one.